And we're live. Tell me if you can't hear me. Oh, we already got a comment in the chat, so I was just reading that. So I got a comment in the chat, and great to see you, SJG Trades. I think I didn't see the question in there, but I think you're asking about adding a like and subscribe button, which we can do. And the thing I have pulled up here, I wanted to start with this. I'll come to the like and subscribe in a second. There's this thing, this podcast I listen to called My First Million. And one second, I'm just going to check my stream audio. Okay, perfect. I can hear it. So, yeah, I listened to this podcast called My First Million. Check it out. It's really great. And they did this thing, a fitness challenge, where you do 100 push-ups, 100 air squats, 100 burpees. And if you're a fan of this podcast and you're interested in doing that, I made a template. So I have like the burpees, squats, push-ups across the top. And then as you're going, if I scrub through here, you can see there's a progress bar and a counter. So I'm doing push-ups. Push-ups is active in white. And then the squats and the burpees are in like a lighter gray. And then as I scrub through, it goes to the next one. And it keeps your time right there. So the reason I show you that is I made this a template. So then if you wanted to do this yourself using Descript, you could use this same template, and then you could participate in this challenge. And my total time, this was from last week. I did a 1747. And then I did it again today and got a 1424. So anyways, little bragging there for a second. So back to the question. If I recorded, so in the chat, if I recorded a short separate intro outro, am I best to do that in Descript and then add them to Descript videos, or save them in YouTube and add them? So is the intro and outro is for all of your videos? That's going to be like something that you use in every single video. If so, I would recommend to make that into a template, and then you'll just apply it with the click of a button to every single video. So like, for example, the video that I just showed you, I'll just, for the sake of demonstration, I just duplicated it. So I'm gonna, in this copy, I'm gonna go to the very end. Okay, yeah, the answer is yes, you'd use them in all. So I made a new scene at the very end here. So it's just a blank 5-second scene. And then I'm gonna go into my templates. I'm gonna go to Descript Mastery. And then at the very bottom, I have two outros. I have one that, in a second here, we should be able to see the preview, that has like a blue background, and then one that's a marble background. And that's the one I use in all of my YouTube videos. And so I've made it into a template. So when I click on it, it automatically applies it. And it looks like this. And if you've watched any of my videos all the way through, that probably looks familiar, because this is my standard outro. And then I overlay the subscribe button right here, and then like recommended video, recommended playlist on the left side. And then I'm turning on my cursor thing here. And then, yeah, that's how that works. So I put the logo at the top and then website at the above that. So I could show you how to make that if that's the question, is how to make those. As for intro, it'd be the same thing. You would just make a template out of it, and then you would just apply that to each video. So let me go to the beginning, and I'll show you that. I'm gonna make a new scene right here as well. So I have about 5 seconds in a new scene. And what I'm gonna do is go back to my templates, and I have this one called, yes, okay, yeah. So the question is, I'm adding the playlist and recommended video in YouTube, or through YouTube. That is correct. That'll be done inside of YouTube Studio. And then you would do that from the settings of that video. There's a thing that says end card, or end screen, I think it is. And then that's where you would set what shows. And you can choose subscribe button, playlist, videos. That might be it. And then, okay, so I was showing you the intro. So I showed you the outros, and sorry that there's no preview here, so it makes it a little harder to understand what's going on. But I have this one called intro title, intro side. And so let me just pick this one that says intro title. Okay, yeah, used to doing that in YouTube, so that should be familiar. So here's the title I sometimes use, which just has like the logo once again, and it's got an animation. So here's what it looks like. So it's got that rectangle that like squeezes in, and then the words that pop in. So that's a title that I sometimes use. Now, as for making it, let's go into that. Where did okay, that's just a blank project. So to start a template from scratch, just go to the templates thing right here. And then all of these that you see here are sort of like folders. So inside of these are compositions and scenes, multiple scenes, just like a normal project. But these are in fact templates because they have these little icon right here, this little 4 square icon. So to create a template from scratch, you'll go to new template and then give it a title. So we could call these SJG trades templates. And then and you'll get a label this again when you save it. So you could call it intro title, whatever. And then just put everything in here. If it's like, I don't know exactly what you want to use, and feel free to put it in the chat if you have. Okay, so the question in the chat is, are those ones that I created or canned ones that come with Descript? And they are created. The Descript Mastery ones I made, but there are also canned ones that come with Descript. So to find those, if you go to the templates button again and then gallery, these are Descript's built-in ones. And you could use these as a starting point, which I would recommend. It makes it that much easier. So you could go to intros, for example, and then you could look at these styles. Like, this is kind of cool if you had like something fairly flashy where these words, you could see that the guy is behind the title layer, but then in front of the your and here. That's a cool effect. I like that a lot. I think that's new. And then, but what you could do is also swap these out. If you had something relevant to like your logo or your particular brand, you could add those elements in here instead of what Descript's already done. But just to use these as a starting point, let me do this one called Flare Intro. And again, just to reiterate, this is in the gallery and then title or intros right here. So this first layer is like your folders, and this folder is called intros. So then inside of intros are all of these, and I'm going to apply this one called Flare Intro. And there it is. And what this is, I just applied 4 layers. So now I have 3 title layers. So I could swap these out. Oh, and this didn't work. Look at that. The formatting's all messed up. Yeah, that's not good. But we'll fix that. So yeah, it's got 3 separate layers, your title here, and then the background layer. So here's the background layer. You could just delete that and put in your own logo or whatever's relevant to your channel. And then, yeah, back to these title layers. These have animations on them. So if you see these little gray parts right here, if I click on that, that pulls up the animations. And I'm going to zoom in on that with Command and my scroll wheel. So I'm scrolling up to zoom in, making the timeline bigger. And I have these 2 animations, so a starting keyframe and an ending keyframe. And this one is the one that says title. So there's one that says your, one that says title, and one that says here. But let me see how this animation looks. So I just put my playhead a little bit before it, and I'm going to play this. Okay, so those are just fade ins. Those are really simple. And I don't know if that something went wrong when I applied it because I don't think they're supposed to look like this. But I made the box bigger so that it doesn't go into 2 lines like it was before. And I'm going to go to title, make that bigger, make here bigger, like that. So then, so what I could do is click on each of these and say SJG, trades, oops. And it tries to put it into another line, so I'm just gonna expand that a little bit. SJG trades, title, whatever. I'll just space these out a little bit. And then I'm just gonna, oops, dang, I keep selecting the background. If that happens, if you keep selecting the background like that, one little trick that I've only recently started doing is if you click into the canvas, you can lock something into place. So this little lock layer here, that'll make it so that I can't select that background and it's not gonna move around anymore. So just a little handy little thing that you can do. So then, yeah, so now let's take a look. So hopefully that helps with the designing portion. We can go deeper into that in a minute, but once you got everything set how you want, this is your template, and we'd go to publish template, and then here's where you get to label it again. So I could call this like YouTube intro, and that's it. Just be descriptive. Like if you're also making portrait videos, you might call it YouTube intro landscape to distinguish from your portrait videos. And then you can choose if it's private, meaning only you can use it, or if you have editors that you want to share it with. And then share publicly would be, and I'll do that actually. I'll share it publicly so that I can put the link in the chat, and you could put this into your own project. And then you just hit publish template. And yeah, to answer your question, you just save that as a template. And then I'm gonna put this link. So I just copied it and pasted it into the chat. So you could open that up and copy it into your Descript drive. And now if I go back to a project and I go to my templates, this square icon right here, and I go to, what did I save it as? Was it title? No. Was it in, hang on, let me go back to that. Oh, I called it SJG trade templates. So let me find that. Where was that? I'm not seeing it for some reason. Let me go back. Let me like refresh this. Oh, you know what? I'm in an audio only project. So good learning point here. You can't apply templates. Or well, let's see though. They still show up, so it should be there. Am I missing it? Wait a second. Did I? Yeah, it says all changes synced. Oh, it shows up here. Did I miss it on here? You know what? Okay. You can also do window at the top and hit reload. So I'm going to do that. It's kind of like refreshing a web page. That might be the issue that I shared it publicly. There it is. Okay. So I just had to reload it. It's just one of those things. Didn't show up because I made it in real time. So here, SJG trades template is the folder. You can think of it as a folder. And then if I had multiple scenes and or compositions, they would all be right here, but I only made this one. So I'll click on that. And it applied it. And so the way I would use this, if this was the title that I wanted to go with, and I wanted it to play for, let's say 6 seconds, I just put my playhead at 6 seconds. I can just add a scene, and I'm gonna have to just delete everything after that point. But now scene 1 is my intro. So it plays, fades out, And then in scene 2, it would go into the meat of the content. So hopefully that helps. Any other specific questions about creating the template or other things that you want to try? But that's the idea, is like once you make it in here, you publish the changes, then you can access it and then apply it just by clicking on it. And yeah, so I recommend use templates as much as you possibly can. Like intros and outros are the obvious ones, but also captions. What else? I mean, sometimes just things that you use a lot, like a webcam. Like for me, making Descript tutorials, I have a template for the webcam. So let me show you that. Like I go to Descript and then no. So question in the chat is there a way to add a clickable link to a YouTube video? There's not in Descript. Any video is not dynamic. There, you can't add links to a video. So when you see videos or links on YouTube videos, those are added in YouTube, like the cards that pop up. And I can show you those. I know you're familiar with them, but let's see here. So here's my YouTube studio for the most recent video I did a few days ago. And yeah, the way that you would add it is on YouTube's side with right here, end screen. And I have I didn't use my standard end screen here, but if you remember, my Descript logo was like at the top and then the web link. And so you can see how this would kind of look. My subscribe button is down in the middle, and then like recommend a playlist, and then the most recent upload will appear right here. And you can set that here on the left. And then down on the timeline here, you can set how long those will play. So I have it so it's exactly the length of my outro template. Oh, and so question in the chat is, you have to have a certain number of views, followers, etc., before you can have a clickable link. I don't know. I don't think so. I think you do have to verify your account, but that's a good question that I don't know. I only have 850 subscribers on this channel, and I've been able to do the end screens for a while now, so I don't remember if that was something that got unlocked at a X number of subscribers. I do remember there's a verification thing that you have to do through settings down here. But yeah, I don't know, sorry. That could be the case. Just fine, but you can actually. Oh, do you mean to the description of the video? Like adding these links? Because yeah, I think there is some other hurdle or verification for that as well. And beyond that, there are also, once you get monetized, you can do the things like super subscribers where people can pay a monthly amount to follow your channel and stuff like that. Yeah. If you have an example of what you have in mind, you could post a link or something. So keep the questions coming if you got them. Otherwise, yeah. Okay, I think you might be thinking about like, so in the chat, saying I've seen clickable links in some videos, but yeah, I think you need to be monetized first. To post your own like merch, like some people have, a t-shirt or some sort of product that they've created, you do have to be monetized to do that. And you can have it'll come out on the bottom and it'll say, buy my bag of coffee or buy my t-shirt or whatever it is. You can do that, and you do have to be monetized for that, which is at one of the tiers is 3,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. And then the other tier for the YouTube ad revenue share is 4,000 watch hours. So I think that's what you're seeing is like when YouTubers post their merch and stuff like that. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So in the chat, I mentioned a major update coming to Descript. So there's nothing new that I'm aware of with the new update to Descript, in terms of like a new functionality or like a new feature, but the UI is going to be different. So buttons are going to be in a little bit different place. And don't worry, I know that worries a lot of people. I think it's an improvement. I think it's going to be cleaner. I've seen a preview of it. And you can sign up through Descript to do a beta test, and you'll get on a call with someone from Descript, and they'll ask you questions and kind of just watch you, like how you get familiar with the tool. So without saying too much about like what's actually in it, they just, I think, made it a lot more user friendly. And so nothing new, just things are in different positions and different icons and different buttons. That's really what it is. So with that said, I'm planning to redo my entire course based on the new Descript look that's going to come out in, we don't know when, they haven't said, but probably June or July. And then, yeah, so it's a visual thing. It's a visual and user experience thing, not like a feature thing. Just while I'm waiting for questions, I'll keep talking about templates here. So we have our template number 1, and what you could do is create another scene after the part that we already have here, the intro title. What I like to do for organization is make new compositions. So, yeah, okay. So question in the chat is shed some light on the 2 versions of Descript, their regular product and their quick recording. So I wouldn't call the quick recording a different version. The 2 versions, the major versions of Descript, are the app version, which is what I have open right now. The app version being what you download to your desktop. And then the web version, which is web.descript.com, and you go there in your browser. So those are the 2 versions. The quick recorder is part of the app version. So you can't use the quick recorder unless you have the app version on your computer with the appropriate permissions granted to it. So the quick recorder is when you come to the top. I'm on Apple, and let me change my live stream thing here, my live stream view. You know what? I don't even need to. So just at the very top of my Mac, there's the computer's menu bar. I click on the Descript logo, and this thing drops down right here. And then you can see that my webcam preview pops up. And this is the quick recorder when you start it from your desktop. So I could have Descript closed right now, and I would still be able to do this. And then you can choose camera only, which, just like it sounds like, would not show my screen. It's just my camera view. And then next to that is screen and camera. You got the camera preview in the bottom left, and you can resize it. It's this square with rounded corners, and yeah, you can just make it whatever you want. Now, the difference between quick recorder and starting a recorder inside of the app is quick recorder will only make 1 layer. So it'll combine the webcam layer and the screen layer. Whereas if I do the recorder on my hidden behind other open. So in the chat, saying many times those 2 windows are hidden behind other windows. So you're talking about this window, the webcam window gets hidden, and then this preview thing gets hidden. So what I lost my train of thought there, but I'm gonna close this. The quick recorder is supposed to be less intensive on your computer, use less memory and CPU power to run it, but the advantage of it is it's transcribing in the background. So as soon as you stop the recording, that transcription is going to be ready for you a lot faster than when you start a recording from inside of the app, inside of a project. Okay. So he said yes, that those windows are hidden. So I don't really have a good solution for you other than to just reposition things so that you're able to see it. I have two monitors, so I often have the thing that I'm showing on one screen. Like right now I have YouTube and my streaming software open on the screen over here to my right. And then I have the stuff I'm showing you in Descript right in front of me on my main computer. Oh, okay. He's saying that even with the showing all his windows, he's not able to see it. So yeah, that it could be an error. Are you on the latest Mac OS? That's okay. Yeah, I would check like normal troubleshooting stuff. Like, I'm sure you've done this. Close and restart Descript. Update your computer. Update Descript. But when it's working, this is what it should look like. The other thing too is your settings, like your camera is enabled. Because if it's not, obviously you won't be able to see it. And yeah, that's without seeing it myself, that's what I'd say. Just like normal troubleshooting stuff, that you've probably already tried, but check with Descript and they can probably help you out. So I haven't really finished any train of thought there. The quick recording, and I could do an example right now. I think this might work without ruining my live stream here. But if I do a record and edit, it's going to record, and as soon as I hit stop, it's going to automatically open up a Descript project for me to edit what I just recorded. If I do record and share, it's going to open up and let me do this. I'll just demonstrate. So I'll do record and share. It's asking me to select a portion of my screen. I hit start recording, and I'm now recording a quick recording. And when I'm done, I'll just hit the stop button. Sorry, that's to make it square, either a square preview or a circular preview. And then the stop button is over here on the right, which you probably can't see, but it's over here. And as soon as I hit stop, it automatically opened up in a browser on my other monitor. And you can see the transcription was like instant, and it's all one layer, so that my video here, my webcam, is part of the screen recording, as opposed to what I'm about to show you next. Or let me just hit edit. Okay, it's opening up my app. There we go. And so yeah, this is what it looks like. It's all one layer versus two layers that you're about to see. And I could now send this. I could send that link to somebody, and it's kind of like Loom. It's Loom. So if I hit enable multiple compositions, I'm gonna go to new composition, and then I'm gonna do record again. I can start it from here, or I can start it from here, and it's a little bit different now. So now I can move this around, but I can't resize it like I did before. And I can't turn it into a circle. So it's a bit different in that sense. And I'm going to go ahead and hit start recording, and I'm live. This is my recording. And when I'm done, I'll hit stop. And notice the transcription isn't instantly there like it was with the quick recording. So this is going to take a little moment to think about it. Not long at all, because it's only 4 seconds. But I also have two layers. Oh no, sorry. I didn't do a screen recording, so it's just one layer. It's just my video. Had I done a screen recording, I would have a separate layer for my webcam and a separate layer for the screen. And then I could, inside of the editing, I could make this a circle, for example. I could move it around and put it in the bottom left. And this is where I was saying I have a template that does this. I have a template that puts me in the bottom left. It applies green screen, applies studio sound, does all that stuff. So in the chat, final question that comes to mind, I've shared a lot of quick record links with students, but if we're to now go and move them into folders in Descript, will the links still work? Yeah, they will. Yeah, changing their location inside of Descript won't change their link. Let me verify that. Maybe test it with one, but I'm pretty sure that it will not interrupt the existing link, because my entire course is on. Yeah, I would recommend test it, but my entire course is on is Descript that I embed into my website, and I move things around, and yeah, it doesn't interrupt it. Yeah. So yeah, and the beautiful thing is too, I'm sure you've done this and know this, but when you can make edits to your recording or add on to it or completely redo it, and then you just hit update and it'll update that link. So you can, that's the great thing about if you have your course with Descript, you can just change the lesson and you hit publish, you hit update, and it'll update that existing embed without having to, you know, if it was on something else, I'd have to download it to my computer and then upload it, and then it would just be a lot more steps than just simply remaking the lesson and hitting update. Cool. We're only halfway through. If there's anything else, I know you said it was your final question, but if not, I had a request to talk about animations, the different types of animations, which I can do. And I'm gonna go back. I think I have this in demonstration projects. I had a little thing that I made, animation demo. Where was that? There it is. So there's 4 different types of animations, and this is what they look like. So those animations are all the same length. This one's the linear one. This one's the ease in. This one's the ease out. And this one's the ease in and out. So once again, here's how they look. So just to break those down, ease out starts fast. It starts by moving quickly, and then it slows down as it approaches the end of that animation. Ease in and out starts slow and ends slow, getting faster in the middle. Linear stays the same speed throughout. So it starts at a certain speed and it stays exactly there until it stops. Ease in starts slow and then gets faster until it reaches its final point. So one more time. So there you go. And then the way that you set those, if I click on one of these, like this white one right here, and I go to the edit keyframes, there's my starting keyframe. So at the starting point, my white dot is right there, my linear dot. And if I go to the last keyframe, it's at the very end of my video. And what I did to create that is right here, these effect settings, and click on the one that says linear. And then, let me see if I have that isolated. I don't think I do, no. So, okay, watch it again, paying attention to just the linear one, and you'll see it should move consistently at the same speed from left to right. So just like that. And then next we'll look at the ease in and out. So once again, at the starting keyframe, it's on the left side of my screen. At the ending keyframe, it's on the right. And when you go to effect settings, it's this one called ease in. And so it starts slow, almost to the point where it's not even moving for a fraction of a second. And then it slowly accelerates all the way till the end. And if you saw, it's the last one to arrive. So in that sense, it's kind of the slowest animation. So let's watch it. Pay attention just to the ease in one. So it gets pretty fast by the end. And then ease out. Let's look at this one. once again, 2 keyframes from start to finish. I'll go to the second keyframe and I'll go to the effect settings. And right here where it says easing, this one is called ease out. And let's watch it, pay attention. It'll just, it'll start fast and then it'll slow down as it approaches its final point in the animation. And then the last one is ease in and out. Same thing, 2 keyframes, ease in and out. This is actually the default one. It's the first one. So if you don't change the easing settings, it'll be this one. And let's see how that looks. Starting slow, getting fast, ending slow. Just like that. And animations can be applied to any layer. So you can apply this to titles. I have a title example right here. So that one just pops up. And then what do I have going on here? So that one's like a slow zoom in. I like this effect a lot, especially for like words. If you have a quote where you just have, you know, a couple lines of text and then it's slowly getting bigger, possibly as the speaker of your video is saying those words, I think is a really nice effect. There's one I like. If you go to templates, gallery, titles, I like, maybe it's not titles. I think it's in slides. This one right here, I like this effect. So these are 4 separate layers. Lorem ipsum, there's, you know, generic text. You could replace this with a quote. But you can see, if I zoom in on my timeline here, you can see this gray. These are animations and they're staggered. So each line is going to appear at different times and it looks like this. So that's kind of a cool thing to do, to just, you know, put in a cool quote here. And then you could swap out that giant number 1 there with a different number if you wanted, or a logo or whatever. You get the idea. Add a new scene. And feel free to drop in any comments if you have them. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep messing around with templates and titles. So this one's interesting. These are shapes. So right here, what I have selected is a blue shape. You can see here the blue fill color. And then it's got a shadow applied to it. So like a really big shadow. If I turn it off, and I turn off the blur, you can see that there's a sharp blue edge. Let me turn that back on. So these are 3 overlapping shapes, rectangular shapes with shadow and blur applied to it, so that you get that cool gradient effect. And you can just change these colors. That looks more subdued. Make that darker. Move it around so it fills that white space. Oh, and I can't move it because it's got an animation applied to it. Let me see how that animation looks actually. So it's moving the colors around. That's kind of cool. So I could just modify these animations and set the endpoint to, oops. So I'm changing the blue frame right here. Should be, where is it? I have the text selected, sorry. Okay. So I'm going to move it so that it fills that white space. And then so that the black layer is going to disappear, and then the blue one's going to just move over to the right. Yeah. So you can play around with it like that. And then, oh, SJG. So I mentioned that the first way that we created our template from scratch is only one way. The other way, the more convenient way, if you've already made an intro and an outro, is to find the scene thumbnail for your intro and or outro, right click on it and say save to template. And then you could save it to an existing folder of templates, or you could create a new one. And then it'll open up a new template window, and then you'll publish your template as we saw before. And then that could be the thing that you use. It's just easier if you've already created it to do it that way. If you haven't, you're creating it from scratch, then you'll need to do it the way that I first showed you at the beginning of this. Let me close that. And let's see here. Yeah, okay. And yeah, like I said, these are great starting points too. If it fits, like, you know, something like this, change it to your colors, or the title ones that I showed you, intros here. Let's mess around with this one. I like that. That's cool. If I go back, gallery, intros, right here. So this one's a little bit more complicated. So what's going on here is some layer manipulation. The shot of the guy, if I click into this gray area here, so I have nothing selected, I can see my layer order. And okay. Yeah, thanks for joining. Appreciate the questions. It really helps make these more interesting, and hope to see you again on a Friday, and maybe in a tutoring call. Have a good one. So this first one is, there's two shots here. There's two layers called wide shot of male dancer. And what's happened here is this one on top has green screen applied to it. So they're copies of each other, and they've applied the green screen so that the background is gone. If I add back the background by removing the green screen effect, like so, now look at how it's covering up the word here and your. But if I add it again, it applies the green screen and it gets rid. So it's just his body and not the background. But the background is still showing because the original video, another copy of that video, is in the most back, the furthest back layer. And then woven into there is the here title and the your title. And then above those layers is our green screen layer. And so that's why he appears like he's in front of those words. And if I click out again, and then the final one is the title, the word title, which is in front of everything. And so it looks like it's in front of him. So it creates this cool effect. Like so. Yeah, and you could do this with something else. Let me recreate this from scratch. I'm gonna make a new title or new scene / I have a blank 5-second scene, and let's find like something with movement in the front, like an animal. Let's see if we can find like a dog or something. It needs to be the right. This could be kind of cool. I could put the, yeah, let me use this. I'm going to put this elk or whatever this is. And let's just give it a second to load here. And then the first thing I'm going to do is copy this. So this is my layer right here, this blue one. I'm going to hit Command C, and I'm going to click above it into the gray area, hit Command V. And now I have two identical copies of that layer. I can see that here. I'm going to take this one that's on top, and I'm going to apply green screen to it. And it should take a moment to apply here. It says applying green screen to the male, whatever, ... I can't see the rest of it. And give that a moment to apply. And it's not going to look like anything yet because it's going to be a carbon copy of the bottom layer. So it looks no different yet. But I'm going to add a title. And let's call this Descript. I'm going to click out. I'm going to make this wider so it doesn't fill the screen so much. Center it and drag this up. And now I'm going to click into the gray area again. I'm going to move my green screen of that elk guy, and I'm going to put him on top. And then, or hang on a second. How do I want to do this? Let me think about this. I wanted that behind him, so, okay. Why isn't it? That should be my green screen layer, no? You know what? It might not have worked on an animal. That might be the issue. Let me cancel this. Ah, okay. So I just hid the layer. The green screen didn't work. It didn't apply to the animal layer. So let me do this with a human. Okay, let's do catching a frisbee. I want like a really cool action shot. That'll be cool. Might be a little small, but we can zoom it in. Okay, so I'm gonna just make this a little smaller. And I'm gonna copy that video that I just added. Once it's in there, there we go. So Control C, click above it, Control V. Now I have two identical copies. To this one, I'm gonna apply green screen. And while I wait for that to process, I'm going to change the layer order. Oh, I still have that deer in there. Let me get rid of that. And it just made my layers white. That's weird. Okay, there we go. I'm going to add in that Descript again. I'm just going to say Descript. I'm going to resize it and reposition it. And then let's see if our green screen's done yet. Okay, it is. So I'm gonna just move that green screen layer on top. And now, let's see if that worked. Yeah, check that out. So he's now in front of the letters. So it looks like this. That's cool. And then let me just do that layer again. So I'm gonna duplicate that Descript layer, and I'm gonna do a mastery layer there, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to move the guy, our green screen guy, in front of the words. So now his body is covering up on it. The titles are longer than the video, so we get a little bit of black there. I'm just going to cover that up by shortening it, and it looks like this. Oops, there we go. Nice. He's not catching the frisbee, which is great. All right, so you get the idea with that. You can do some cool stuff. And then I could put something in the middle too, like that the original example had 3 layers. So the word title is in front of him, but then the other words are behind him. So I could do like something in the middle, like a shape or like a waveform. No, waveform won't work because I don't have any sound right there. I could do like a rectangle or something, or a logo. A logo would make sense. So he's in front of the words, but behind the thing that I just added. Yeah, I'd have to think about that a little more to really figure it out. But you get the idea. You could definitely create some cool effects in that way. Now, what else? Checking the chat, nothing new. You can do some stuff with multicam. So here's some cool multicam templates. And this is a really, really good starting point if you're doing multicam like interview podcast. You could apply active speaker to the whole project, and then on just certain scenes where you want both speakers, or in this case 3 speakers or 4 speakers, then you could apply those. You will have to have the corresponding number of layers. So if it was a 4-speaker template, you would want to have 4 layers, video layers, in order for that to work properly. And the order would matter. So like if you had a particular order where you wanted the host in the top left and then a certain order from left to right, top to bottom, then you would need to position your layers in the sequence in the right order. But that's all easy enough to figure out. And then there's a little demo. This is a pretty nice. I like this actually with the colorful moving background. That's actually just a video. It's called Light Leak. And we're waiting on one more to load there. But yeah, and then what you could do is have, when one person is speaking, have them full screen, aka active speaker. And then on the scenes where people are laughing or everyone's reacting, you could copy this scene, right click, hit copy layout, and then paste that into the parts where everyone's reacting, and it'd look really nice. And I like that moving background. I think these are new templates. I haven't actually seen these before. And then the one to the left of it is just all 4 speakers full in their frame, no colorful background or anything like that. And you could just simply take that background, delete it, and just add a flat color if you wanted, like so. Or you could go into your media bin, and we could add our guy dropping the frisbee video again. Where is that? I think it was like the last one. Yeah. Put him in the back somewhere. There he is. And then I'll just hit the bracket on my keyboard to send him to the back layer. And it looks like that. So a lot of stuff you could do. And what I would do is click on that, whatever video, if I'm going to use a video in the background, click on that, and then change the opacity so it's not quite so distracting. So I might do like a 60. Oh, and I think that changed all my, I think I had the wrong layer selected there. Let me undo that. Or I might have, what happened there? It like hid all my layers. Oh, okay. I think I was just at the very end. It was showing me the very last frame. So if I click on that frisbee layer and I go to opacity and I say 60%, it dampens it down quite a bit. And then if I click into the gray area, I could change that background so it's not quite so dark. There's that really bright blue. Give it more of like an ocean hue. Just like that. Cool. So if I hit slash again, let me go to gallery, go to audiograms. Are interesting. These will use the sound waves from your audio from your audio and make it into a visual thing, like this blob here that's kind of, it moves in time with the words you're saying. This one is a waveform, so it does the waves across the bottom. This one's kind of cool. Oh, and it's going to ask me to change orientation here. I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to open a new composition. I don't want to mess up, not that I had anything cool there, but just start something new. That was audiograms. Again, these are Descript's built-in ones. And once I get the preview, I think it was this one. Let's see without the preview. I'm just guessing. Gallery, audiograms. Oh, is this one? Serene audiograms. I'm gonna click on that. Everything's running super slow right now, so this is taking a while. Okay. The first one I applied had a square aspect ratio, so that's why it's asking me to change the aspect ratio, which I did. And now it's in that portrait mode, which is good. I'm gonna delete that one of those waveforms. So there's two waveforms. I don't know what that line is across. We'll see in a moment here when I play it. I think that's a holdover from the other template. But it's going to do the waveform around the speaker. So let's see how it looks.
Audiograms are great because they let you prepackage the very best moments from your podcast and share them out on social platforms.
Okay, so what's going on here is that one is a flat waveform. It's not a circular one, so I need to find that one. So that one's called lines. I'm gonna change it to circle. And now it's around that guy. Something about applying the two templates caused that to get messed up there. But now it'll look how it should. So if you had two speakers, this could be a great YouTube short or TikTok of an interview where you got, somebody asking a question, it's showing the waveform around their little profile picture. And then the bottom one, as soon as they start talking, same thing, their waveforms will go. And then you got the captions across the bottom. And those are nice, clean looking captions. And then what's our background here? It looks like it's another video, light leaks extract. So, okay, I will wrap up with talking about what I do. I have descriptmastery.com, and I have a few things. I have course, which is just like do it yourself, go through the lessons on your own time, and you can learn Descript. Then I have tutoring, which is where we get on a one-on-one call, and I walk you through whatever you're stuck on, if it's just a specific question, or if you're a complete beginner and you just want to say, show me cool stuff, show me how I can make whatever project I'm working on. That's how we can use that time. You can book 1, 3, or 5 sessions. I make templates for people. So for $25 a template, I can make an intro, an outro, whatever else, all the stuff we talked about today, title screens. I've done it all. I have editing, and I also have this new thing that I'm doing called YouTube Launch, which is if you're launching a YouTube channel, it's a series of calls and advice to get you started on YouTube. So helping you with your branding and YouTube SEO and all that kind of stuff as you're launching a new YouTube channel, specifically using Descript, because that's what I know. And then there's a free blog, newsletter, all sorts of stuff that I do. And then these live events on Fridays. So hope to see you back for these. Feel free to leave questions in the chat. Otherwise, that's it for now. Have a good weekend.